Good afternoon. I'm going to confirm that everybody can hear me. Thank you, and see me. Good to see you. Thank you for being here at our State of the College address. First and foremost, I want to thank you for all of your work over the last few months, adjusting to what is now our new reality, living in COVID. I'm so grateful to have been appointed your permanent president and very happy to begin an academic year. Thank you so much. The purpose of this address is to open our academic year and to talk about where we're going and where we have been. Please use the chat. I won't be able to look at it until I get done with the address formally, but we will have an interactive conversation this afternoon. First and foremost, let me say thank you for your hard work on the strategic plan. It is a big deal for us to have a direction and a space in which we understand where we're going. We will, over the course of the next few weeks, be having conversations about how we operationalize that plan. That means that we're going to have a plan that comes to life, that does not sit on a shelf, that we decide as a group how we're going to do the work. And I'm so excited for that to be the reality, right? So thank you for that. Just to talk about a few of the things that happened last year, thank you for the successful fundraising effort for the students during COVID. We raised $51,000 of emergency funds and had a lot of help from a variety of people in those ways. Thank you so much for that. And you were able to successfully, as a campus, transition to distance learning, which means that you're nimble and able to manage change in a way that is unbelievable. Thank you for all of that. It's very important that we acknowledge what we had to do last spring. And as we move from COVID crisis to COVID maintenance, I want us to keep in mind a few things. We have to remember self-care and mental health. We have a lot of people who are experiencing a lot of loss, and we have to take care of ourselves. Second, we have to remember that distance learning takes an adjustment for many, and that if we are as a campus are not supporting you as we need to know. The faculty, staff, and students of this community need to over-communicate their needs in this time. If nothing else, make sure that people know what you need and how you're doing. Let me also highlight and acknowledge the fantastic work of our Middle States team. Our Middle States accreditation process predates me, and it was fantastic work on behalf of the full campus that we completed last spring. It is an accomplishment to be proud of. You should be very proud of your Middle States work and the fact that we did such a good job. So thank you for that. I want to highlight some faculty grants. There were many grants last spring that we should acknowledge, but of those that I want to give a shout out to, Professor Pop and Professor Lynch of Physics Department, who were awarded a grant for $1 million. And this is the second such award. There have been other awards of those types. I want to thank our faculty for all of their research and their dedication to our students. We did confer and confirm last spring, 1,235 degrees awarded. Congratulations to our graduates. As I mentioned to you all, the last time that we got together, we did have to postpone our graduation. We anticipated and hoped that we would do it in the fall, and now we're in this fall. So we have to have some conversations about how we're going to celebrate our degrees and graduation, but we will get back to that. As an exciting update for many people, CUNY Central has confirmed a food services contract with a vendor that will be coming on campus to do some renovation so that when we are back there in the person, we will be equipped and ready to participate in that food services arrangement. It's very, very, very exciting to have that opportunity. So thank you for all of those who worked on that. And thank you for your commitment and your interest in this work. Let me also say that this is an exciting time to really look at what it means to be a leader managing change. It apparently is going to be a reality for us for a very long time. And to that end, we have had some changes and transitions in our cabinet. I want to thank our interim provost, Derek Brazil, for joining us and looking at all the opportunities for re-engineering and reorganization in the academic affairs unit. That will be the cultivation of a process of conversation of the faculty, born from the faculty, for the faculty. So thank you so much for leading that work. I want to also identify the fact that we are going to be looking into appointing an interim vice president of administration and finance. That vacancy has been open for quite a while, but we are going to be talking to CUNY Central about those possibilities. Thank you, Dana Trimboli, for serving as not only just my chief of staff, but also the interim vice president of advancement. I asked her to conduct the operational analysis of that unit. It was my choice and the choice of the leadership group that we would not go out to search for that position until we did some infrastructure cleanup and some analysis of the advancement arm of the house. So thank you for that. And last but not least, I want to thank Latoro Yates for serving as our interim vice president of enrollment management. That was a merger of two units that had not been together before, and I appreciate the work that is being done there. I'd like to also announce that we have concluded a formal search that happened in the spring for an executive director of facilities. I want to acknowledge that we have quite a few facility projects going on our campus. We have $165 million in funded capital projects in the coming years. That means that we have to have somebody to help make sure that all these facilities projects that we have had on stall for quite a long time get moving and get completed. So that formal announcement will be coming to the campus very soon, and that will be an update for all of you all. I want to be also clear about the fact that in most of these cases, these interim appointments are the things that we need to do to keep the institution moving. We have continued to have conversations about efficiencies and savings. Many of the interim appointments are backstop for vacancies that have either been there for a little while or are new. So that is just to let people know that. As it relates to enrollment management, I regret to inform the college that our enrollment is down, as it is all over CUNY. Our undergraduate enrollment is down by 4.5%. Our graduate enrollment is up by 9.1% of last year. The total enrollment is down 6.6 from last year. Freshmen are down 24.3 from last year. Transfers are down 28% from last year, and new graduate students are up 16.2%. Let me say here that we have an amazing opportunity to exercise some commitment to strategic enrollment management, recruitment, and process mapping. It is my hope that in the coming academic year, we will ask certain offices to work together to be aggressive about working on our enrollment across the college. That will be a college-wide project, not the work of any one office, the work of all. We need to get in the business of understanding what our targets are and owning them collectively and making sure that we go out to make sure that we meet our enrollment targets in a different way. Keeping in mind that the enrollment targets and enrollment across the campus, across the university, is down mostly because of COVID. Second, retention. The one-year retention rate for the fall 2018 first-time full-time cohort was 62.3. It is the lowest in recent years. We have an opportunity to look at retention and our campus-wide retention work. So I want to share with the campus that we have great and positive ability to do this. There are some things that low-hanging fruit around things that we can do to look at retention, but there also is high-level work that needs to be done. So thank you so much for that. Around the area of budget, the college is projected at the fiscal 2020 to be in a balanced condition. I do not think that that will last, and we have no reserves. As a reminder, when I arrived at York College, we had a $4 million deficit that was fortified by some assistance by the university and other sources. And the following factors are going to be contributing to the outcome that we have to remember. The one-time support of the university was the first thing that got us to a balanced place. Secondly, the college did not meet its revenue target due in part to the assistance of the college provided students dealing with hardship. So that was part of the second reason. And the revenue generating activity of the auxiliary was severely impacted by the pandemic, the closure of the PAC, and actually what I call no previous rainy day fund. When I arrived at York College, many of the revenue generating entities were offline and or not making funds. So we had, as I mentioned to you all before, our Performing Arts Center, our food services, the closure of our bookstore, the hiatus of our continuing education entity. All of those things, other than the bookstore, have to be revisited and revived. So I welcome a lot of that planning conversation for this upcoming year. And I know that we will get back to the business of revenue generation and planning for those emergencies like we are in right now. I have asked many of the units to have conversations about the lowering of the OTPS expenses, the original plan stemming from the shift in online work, and looking at whether or not we actually need to be spending funds on certain things in this COVID reality. We want to keep in mind that the personnel cost, of course, as you all know, is the highest cost that we have. But we also have to keep in mind that over the past few years, York College has suffered a yearly structural deficit that needs to be untangled and investigated in a way that will fortify the planning for the future. So I welcome your feedback, and there will be community conversations to make sure that we do that. The budget for the 2021 outlook, the outlook for 2021 throughout CUNY and at York is in desperate condition. I want to say that the budget situation in the university system is changing daily. We have to be open to the reality that we are in dire times, and we have to pull together and look at effective efficiencies, savings, and the realities of the moment. I wish that we would not be facing this time, but we are not alone. We are with our sister institutions. We are also with all of the institutions across the country who are suffering direly. Our students and the communities are suffering. So as it relates to our budget, while the official budget reduction hasn't been announced, it is only a matter of time, we believe. The college is entering a tough year with no reserves and very little revenue generating activities. Unfortunately, the enrollment picture is also grim, as I've mentioned to you already. The university, state, federal, and government is in order to able to continue to operate certain levels, and we continue to be in conversation waiting for relief. We all can only hope that we will get that. So currently, our revenue generating operations are very small, and we hope to build on those. They're very limited in the short term, but we hope that the first phase of us making sure that we get back to that is reinvigorating our continuing education conversation, and also making sure that we get our new food services vendor on campus, and that we figure out a way to monetize some of the campus's assets, which may include creative ways of making sure that we are utilizing all of our spaces. In the midterm, we want to explore all of the possibilities of relaunching our continuing education program. So as a reminder for the college campus, our strategic initiatives are the following: to implement a college-wide strategic enrollment practices to support students in graduation, to undertake efforts to ensure York is clean, safe, and beautiful, to offer intensive guidance to students in their first 8 weeks on the campus, to engineer advisement systems so that the students can better access, stay, and graduate in their desired area of study, and to re-engineer support for faculty research. All of those are the strategic initiative priorities that you all as a campus have identified for us to follow. And so I hope that as you plan for this academic year and you are in conversation with your colleagues, whether it be student, faculty, or staff, that you know that those things are paramount to us in the range of important things that we need to keep in mind. What I want to do in summary is to make sure that you know a few things. I realized that when I arrived last September, I would have no idea that in the spring, my getting to know you process would end abruptly in an in-person way. I realized that it is quite a bit to engineer a new administrative team, and also to manage a crisis and to move past into this new chapter for York College. I want to thank each of you for your generosity, for your candid feedback, for your dedication to York and to each other, because it is with that that we continue to move along. What I also want to highlight for you is to be aware of what is going on in higher education in our country, what is going on in public higher education in our country, and what is going on in our city and in our state. It is very imperative that we keep an eye on that, because those are the factors that are going to continue to impact our day-to-day future. With that said, what I want you to know is that when I arrived here, I pledged to work with you each collaboratively, honestly, to pursue what you had already begun, which is our strategic plan. I want you to know that my email is open, my Zoom meetings are yours, and the space that we work within now is very different. And for that reason, we will have to be innovative in the way that we talk to each other and how we meet with each other, how we celebrate accomplishments. We want to be sure that in this year that we take the time to make each other important, and we highlight all of the great work that you're doing, because I do believe that in this virtual reality, you can very, very, very easily get lost from the day-to-day personal piece of the work. It is our goal to graduate our students, to take good care of our community, to have fantastic research happening and teaching. It is our goal to fortify the institution so that at each time that we have to be ready for a crisis, that we are. I once had somebody ask me after a tragic death in my family, what do I wish I had known before it happened? And what I said was, I wish I had had more time to get ready. That tends to be the way that I approach everything now, because you're always getting ready for something. It is an ever-changing process. Life is. So what I will say is, I want us to keep getting ready to do whatever we have to do to take care of each other, to take care of the campus, to have success amongst our students as it relates to graduation and retention, to be mindful of our budget processes and practices so that people understand that they are transparent and that they are value-based and data-driven. That is my hope for your college. Thank you for your time. All right, so now I think I can look at the chat.
So at this time, we remind folks that you can enter your questions into the chat.
As a reminder, I also will ask that the dates of the town halls for this fall semester be posted so that everyone could see them. We will be having regular town halls as we did last spring. All right, it doesn't sound like we have any questions, so I will try to generate some conversation. How many students are currently enrolled? Do you have a designation of what classification or totally? We usually have about 8,600 students. I can verify. Undergrad. Okay, they posted the link for the save the date for the town halls. 7,700 total. I'll get you an undergrad number. I think that may be the undergrad number, but I'll check. No, that's total. Okay, just verifying for you. Thank you for the question. We have very few students on campus right now. We are mostly virtual. Just if anybody's asking, and we are being asked to be sure that if necessary, we be prepared to do so in the spring. There's another question up above from Linda. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Linda, oh, still supplying students with computers and technology. Yes, we are. I believe that the link for the computer technology is on the COVID website that may not be named the COVID website any longer, but if you go to the York College website and then go to Welcome Back, I think you can go to the information there and the students can get the support that they need. Thank you for the question. Thank you for helping me find it. Was there a new administrator hired to be enrollment VP? No, there was not. Enrollment had been in the finance and administration, and Dr. Yates moved over to VP of Student Affairs / enrollment management. It's all together. There was not separate. How do our enrollment numbers compare to our sister community institutions? I can get you some data put into the chat. We are a little lower than we would like to be compared to others, but everybody is down this year. Undergraduate is 7528, graduate is 258. Thank you to my data geniuses. Regarding enrollment, I've identified an issue my neighbor's son is having. He's playing, okay, hold on. He is in need of assistance. I'm not aware of those issues, Angela, but if you could find a way to email Dana or for her to email you, we'll follow up. Thank you for that. Will the State of the Union call archive or uploaded? Did we record? I believe we did record. We should be able to send it out later. Is the library open for students? Not right now. It is not. The event is being recorded. Thank you so much for the question. Are we looking for more creative ways to connect the college-bound students in the surrounding community? How can we provide input? We do have quite a few recruitment events that happen in the local community. I am concerned about our relationship with the local high school counselors. So I will be asking for some work to be done in that area this coming up year, some very personalized work with a certain catchment area of high school counselors, because I think there's some power in that. The link for requesting a computer is in the chat. Thank you for that. Thank you for the question. If you haven't been able to check out the CUNY website, please also try that and make sure that you know what's going on CUNY-wide around COVID response, because there also are some updates there that may be helpful for you. All of the academic chairs have been getting the updates from EVC crews regarding academic continuity. So if you have not seen, I think we're up to number 16. If you've not seen or heard anything about academic continuity from your chair and your faculty member, please reach out to your chair to make sure you get that. Thank you for posting the CUNY coronavirus website. Can there be a fix for the lack of printers for students who come on campus for lab classes? Students in the past were, okay, so I'll take that into consideration. I will pass it on. I did hear that there was quite a need for printers. Can the printer be moved out of the library into the hall space to student use? We will definitely take note of that and see what can be done. Can you talk about how you are reimagining higher education in general at York specifically? So, I tell people all the time that higher education is a social justice paradigm of our current world, and that some of the reimagination that is connection between technology, innovation, and a connection to community. I think that that's where those synergies have to happen. I think that we have an opportunity to be, the value proposition around CUNY and the cost and the location and who we're educating is real. And that we have to take that on in a way that's very aggressive, but also very purposeful, right? And so we have a mission at York College that speaks to what is supposed to be happening right now. If you all haven't read our mission statement and our values, I want to ask you to do that and integrate that into your conversation, because it really is at the heart of what we should be doing. Can we get a kiosk on campus that would carry York swag? We are working on it. When we're back on campus, I very much so hope that we have some place to buy a York t-shirt or a coffee cup or a cap or any of that. We very much want to be sure that we have that for everyone. So it is on our to-do list. Can you talk about, so I talked about that, as we continue to work remotely and only come to campus, can we count being able to park, and is there some kind of per diem? So there are parking updates. I'm going to have to ask Dana, have we sent a campus-wide parking update yet? I know that there are some. If they have not gone out yet, they will go out soon. Oh, there we go, parking update. It's listed right there. Thank you so much. What can be expected in our financial situation doesn't improve? I have no idea. It's not going to, it's happening all over. We do not know specifically what will be happening. We do know that we have to prepare ourselves for almost anything. I'm sure in other systems across the country, they've already started to have furloughs and things of that sort. We have not been formally notified of any of that happening. And I'm sure you understand that what we are going through right now, most people's financial analysts say pales in comparison to the Great Depression. So I think that it would behoove us to just be mindful of the national situation. Was there a need to modify your grading system and testing schedules? I think that may be a question to the faculty around what they have done in a response to COVID. Thank you for posting the library link. I appreciate that. Do we have the abilities for some interesting courses such as venture capital? I am interested in connecting with generation economy. Oh, thank you for that. We'll note that. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. There's probably great potential there. I would, if you could write me separately, a separate email regarding that, Angela, I would appreciate that. We'll see what we can do about a conversation of that sort. Anyone else? So the things that I get questions about all the time: parking, budget, parking, budget. Sorry, I used to get a lot of questions about food, but we're not on campus, so I don't get as many questions about food. I get a lot of questions around the size of classes. I used to get a lot of questions about the temperature in the building. I don't get that as much because we're not there. Is there outreach being done to guidance staff at the surrounding suburban high schools? That's exactly what I said earlier. We need to have those guidance counselors as friends to York. And so I'm going to ask about whether we actually have that relationship built. With fewer students going off to college, there are people at home. So that you're very right. What are the material fees and were added to the accounts? Okay, so I'm going to have to ask that somebody use the link to the fees information, and we'll share that in the chat, or we'll get back to you directly. Is there a sense of whether enrollment is down because of economic impact? I think people feel like it's a couple of things. People don't have money for school. People don't have time because they're taking care of family who are impacted by COVID. And people's focus is just different. I mean, that's sort of been the national conversation. Every meeting that I've been on, that's been some of what right here. Not as much money, not as much interest, and just in a crisis. Remote learning has uncovered challenges with students and uses of technology. I am not sure if we need to have more sessions to make those available to students, okay? And this applies to general usage of computers. So it sounds like students need help with distance learning. And I think that I've heard that cry a couple of times. And so I will take that question and I will ask Claudio to list that in something that we need to follow up on. There were some questions earlier in the summer around what training faculty were getting for distance learning. I have heard from CUNY Central that there would be some guidance and assistance for students who need to be better equipped to embrace virtual learning, but I have not gotten an update on that. So yeah, let's get back to that. But thank you for the question. I appreciate it. Is there an opportunity for space to be rented, leased in small businesses for meetings and events in the future? Yes, we do rent space at York, and we do have a mechanism to do that. So please, if you're interested in that, please let us know. There's a link to the tuition fee there if you have a question. And then there's a link to write Claudio about technology. And my apologies if I was speaking too quickly earlier. I'm slowing down now. Thank you. I want to be sure that I go back up and look to be sure I haven't missed any questions. So we've talked about the library. If you go back in the chat, we talked about the library. There is some concern around printing access for those students who are on campus. We've talked about parking. There's a link for public safety. We talked about the fee. There's a link there. How to get access to technology assistance. Any additional questions? So again, my hope is that we will find more and more ways to engage and to hear each other and to respond to each other's questions. I want to encourage the students and the faculty and the staff to be utilizing these town hall forums, staff meetings, Zoom get-togethers, to just check in with each other and to make sure that we are understanding of what you need and what's going on. I think it's really important. Do we have a sense of how well-versed the faculty prepared to be online? Well, I quite honestly think that depends on the faculty and of course the department. I don't think it's a uniform response to that question. Thank you. Thank you, Lori, for listing the enrollment snapshot. And the save the date for the town halls has been listed also. Please encourage anyone who's not visited one of our town halls to come and to bring questions. I think the most important piece is for us to be able to share the questions and answers. The administrative team and who is doing what. So I don't know that much has changed, actually. Our interim provost is the interim provost and is serving as the chief academic officer. Dana is the Chief of Staff and the Interim Vice President of Advancement. Our Vice President of Advancement left very shortly after my arrival. And Advancement is the fundraising arm, right? The development and fundraising and communications arm. So Dana is doing that work. The enrollment management and student affairs and student development work is being done in the student affairs unit. And currently our Vice President of Admin and Finance is vacant. And so that that's pretty much, other than the University Council and our, excuse me, Associate Vice President who handles research, Lori Hefner. Let's see, I don't know if there's very much new as far as who's doing what. There's probably just a few different people in new seats. And I do believe we have a current org chart posted on the website. And if not, I will make sure that it's updated. Has the PAC, has COVID stalled the PAC renovation? The PAC renovation right now is scheduled to start in April, if I'm correct. So thank you. I think originally it was scheduled to start in December, so it was delayed. What events are you planning to host to raise students, faculty morale and school spirit? Well, thank you for the question, Krishna. I really, really, really hope that we'll be able to have some small group interactions, and the student government will be able to host some things along with, in collaboration with others on campus. I think there's some great ideas around study sessions and coffee hours and things of that sort, but we also have to do something about homecoming and a few of our annual events that we may not be able to have in person. So I'm hoping that I can talk to the student leaders and many other people on campus, and we will have more than one celebration in a different way this year. I think that's probably the best that we can do. Thank you for the link to the strategic planning information. And there is a new person handling advisement. Dr. Kinabel Pena is our new interim director of advisement. If you have not met her, please reach out to her and invite her to one of your department meetings or for a conversation. I think she's going to do a fantastic job. She's very well versed. She has come from CUNY, having experience in CUNY for quite a few years, and she knows the work. Thank you for posting the org charts there, Raphael. I appreciate that. Oh, and the PAC roof renovation has already started. As you all know, we had leaking in the PAC. Take a breath for a minute. Thank you so much. So a couple of regular celebrations that we probably have to revisit how they're going to be held would be homecoming, obviously, what we're going to do about all of the different graduation celebrations. The students usually have a Thanksgiving meal on campus. That is quite an event that won't be able to be done in person, and I think they're trying to figure that out now. So that's some of those things are, and there are our usual annual events, and then there's our extra outreach to lift morale that we have to look at. Will we be doing a fall 20 round of vest? We really have not. Do you think we should? Did you all enjoy? I don't know that I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Janira. Did you think the vest was a good idea? I mean, I think we just have to tweak it a little bit, but thank you for the question. We have not decided. Thank you for that. Are there particular challenges regarding completion specifically during COVID? Have students who are facing the situation been identified? So, you know, I think we do have an opportunity to do some deeper outreach around crisis and support of the students. It's my hope that there will be some initiatives this academic year to outreach to students to make sure that we give them some assistance in getting from one point to the other. It is a retention challenge right now, supporting the students during COVID. And I do think some of the challenges right now to completion are scheduling, people not having this study space that they're used to having on campus, not having, potentially not having the faculty interaction that they need to be successful. So that's just a few of the things I think that is possible. Oh yes. Oh, you're right. I'd forgotten that. Thank you. The student government has been talking about Thanksgiving dinners for pickup. So that, I mean, I think that may be a possibility. I'm not sure. Thank you for that. Okay, so good questions. Thank you for the dialogue. I appreciate the conversation. And so let me also say that I think a lot of people would like for us to be on the screen and be able to all see each other. But I think there may be, because of the number of people we usually have on, there is a sort of a challenge around that technology. So anything that you want to see happen differently in a public address that I'm doing, or when you see me sharing, please be sure to give us that feedback. It's very important to us. I appreciate it. The academic advising services are on the screen and available. Thank you. There's a note about tutoring. Oh, thank you. I got to thank you about social media. So your college is on Instagram and Twitter. We're trying to be as active as possible. I hope that we will get more and more and more friends. So if you're not one of our friends on Instagram and on Twitter, please do so. Please do so. Suggestion for question and answer sessions where people can unmute and be able to talk. Thank you for that. Thank you for the comment regarding Excelsior. I think one of our opportunities is to talk about our scholarship situation. I have been asking for there to be analysis of our scholarship work in the past so that we can share that back with the campus and have some conversations about points of pride, but also points of opportunity. Because I do think that we have an opportunity to look at our scholarship situation and do things a little differently. And revenue to build retention is real. I understand. Thank you for that. Thank you, Diane. All right. So let me acknowledge again, not only the interim provost, but our deans. We have our Dean Maureen Becker, who is our Dean of our health professions, and our interim Dean George White, who is newly appointed and will be serving with arts and sciences. Thank you for your service. The deans serve with the interim provost in making sure that academic affairs moves along well. And let me also thank our outgoing Dean of Arts and Sciences, Donna Cherico, for all of her years of service. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for everything that you've done for York College. We so appreciate it. And we really are very hopeful that you will continue to support us and that you know how much we appreciate everything that you've done. So thank you, Dean Donna. Let's see, there was a note here about the Collaborative Learning Center. Thank you for that. I think we have to be sure that that we do a couple of things. We communicate often, we communicate clearly, we communicate in a variety of venues and spaces, right? And then what we communicate. I think that what I've learned also is that we have to give some clear messages about what data we're sharing, and that people agree that those data points are the actual data points that are the true information of the campus. The business and economics department will not be getting a new dean. We're trying to solidify how that will be managed now. Quite honestly, because of the fiscal situation, and that particular deanship has been open for quite a while. We have to have some conversations as a team on what will happen. But I welcome your offline emails regarding that work, and I will make sure that I let you know that it will be taken care of. We're trying to figure out a way right now. Thank you for the question. So let me see what other things I can highlight for you. Our announcements. I think we've covered a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of the things that have been at the middle of our conversations lately. Let me also welcome you to give feedback around how you think the strategic plan should be operationalized. We are going to be talking to a lot of people. So if you have had a chance to be in a forum that will be part of a conversation in the next couple of weeks, please come ready with your suggestions. All right. Thank you so much for the time. Thank you, Claudio, for all the assistance, the IT assistance. We appreciate it. We appreciate your team. The day I give, yes.
President, I think we have a question in the chat about the Business and Economics Department getting a dean.
I responded to it. Did they not hear me? I can say it again. Oh, I just responded to it, but I can repeat myself. I was saying that we are trying to resolve that now. We will not be hiring a new dean. That dean vacancy has been open for quite a while, and we're trying to figure out an interim fix for that. As academic affairs will be having a larger restructuring conversation during the academic year. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the link to the student technology resources. Very important stuff. Please pass that on. Anyone who has access, please pass that on. If you're the faculty that are on here, please pass that on to your students if they have not seen that. Thank you for that. So we'll continue to figure out how to manage all of our events that would typically be in person. And we will continue to update the campus regarding budget conversations, as we know that it is a fluid conversation and that it could change at any minute. Can you comment on the work in the area of restructuring departments? Is that, or if that is happening? I actually, no, I don't know that I could comment because that's not part of the conversation right now. Thank you though for the question, Diane. There's been a lot of concern regarding the use of video during classes. If professors are not recording, are they authorized to have the students leave their videos on during class? Thank you to our faculty caucus chair for answering the question. There is, though, I believe, Madam Chair, there may be room for Dana to share the policy here, and if she doesn't hear, we can make sure that we figure out another way regarding the use of video and having to show on the screen. I know we had a discussion about that in a meeting yesterday or day before. So thank you for that. There are some guidelines for virtual learning that, and there has been quite a bit of conversation. Okay, thank you. All right. She's going to send the exact language to the faculty to remind everyone. Thank you. All right, any other questions? All right, thank you. So I want to thank you all again. What we did in the spring was nothing short of amazing. Being able to pivot and to be teaching all of our courses online. And then on top of that, all of our services, our bursar, our financial aid, all these different offices have been serving the community, college community virtually, and continue to do so. I cannot thank you enough for your commitment and the hours and hours of work that you did to make sure that it's happening. And I hope that everybody is understanding and being grateful and showing gratitude when they're working with each other around this stuff. So the day of giving is our day of giving is December 1st. I am reasonably competitive, and our virtual campaign is to raise $50,000. So please, if you know of people who are interested in giving to a fantastic campus that does fantastic work, please get them started. We have $2,000 from an anonymous donation to start us off. So we're $2,050 and we are $50,000 goal. I hope that you will be ready to join me in all of the other virtual celebrations. And I know that there are quite a few of you all who participated in doing Day of Giving videos. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. That's important. I want to be able to get us out there and have us asking. Can I address the issue of accreditation requirements for online academic institutions? So I think, Diane, I think that probably is a question I'm going to have to ask the interim provost to follow up with you on, because it's a little bit more intricate than, and I want to be sure I'm sharing the right data, but thank you for the question. Chairperson Barnes, I hope that you saw that one. Claudio, thank you for the links. Blackboard. So I'm not sure if this is a student or a faculty member. It sounds like we've had some Blackboard problems, virtual security, direct platform. So I'm going to ask that Claudio address this one in particular. They have been talking about some of this, and they have been talking about having a virtual club fair for the new freshmen. I do not know the bottom line on the date. If somebody who's on this knows the date, please post the date. But I do know that they've been talking about confirming a plan for that. And if you're interested in student government leadership, please reach out to the Office of Student Activities or the Vice President of Student Affairs and or anyone on that team or current student government leaders, because we need as many leaders as possible. Thank you. I cannot wait until next year when we have our State of a College address and we're in person, right? And I can do a PowerPoint for you and all kinds of other things. I'm very hopeful this will be my one and only State of the College address that I do in this way. So thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that you're a student, Jeremiah. Thank you. Again, let me remind everyone that we're open to suggestions and feedback. So I really would love to hear from anybody who wants to share their suggestions and feedback for things that I need to know or we need to know as a leadership team or as a campus community about how to better support each other during this COVID reality. Anything that you can share, we would love it. With applause. Oh, okay. I'm not sure. Is that a question or a statement, Van? Thank you for the question. What are the ways the general public and community at large could be most helpful for York? Couple of things. Speak up about York College. Give back to York College of your time, talent, and your resources, any of the three or all. And then be a part of the community that's making sure that York is on the map and that people know all the wonderful things that we're doing. Okay? Thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right, the Instagram looked, oh, you like it? Oh, good, thanks. I'm glad you like the Instagram. Anybody who's not on the Instagram, you gotta get on the Instagram. And then invite some people, get more friends, we gotta get some more traffic. We want everybody on there, right? We want all the students, it's faculty, staff, everybody, we want everybody there. So thank you for that. We're trying, we're working on it. I'm hoping that the website is also looking easier, more user-friendly. We have a little way to go. We continue to work on it all the time. Content is hard to adjust after it's been a certain way for a very long time, so we're working on it. So I hope that you are able to help us with our approach to communication and how we would like to adjust in more aggressive social media, website, Instagram, all those different things, Twitter, all of that. Thank you. Any other questions? Oh, okay, so we need to post the Instagram. I think Dana, she'll probably do it in a moment. Will there be a measurement in place to gauge the student learning through online learning versus physical? There will be a mechanism to check that out. And I don't know whether or not it will be central or will be campus located. So I have to check about that. Dana, do you have the link to the Instagram that you can post for everyone? Sorry, thank you. Thank you, I'm very aware. Thank you, thank you. All right, so what do we have? We spoke about, thank you. Oh, recently I did do an interview for York College Radio. And I think I wanna thank the team there and thank you to the host that interviewed me. It was really fantastic. Jeremiah, thank you for your hard work on York College Radio. Thank you for that. Do we have online exam proctoring service that we can use? I'm going to ask that our technology people answer that question. I believe so. Okay, I want to be sure I've got them all. Am I missing anybody? I'm going to ask for that Instagram link to be posted. All right, thank you. Thank you for posting the link for York Radio. Appreciate that. And then the Instagram link is there also. So you should be our Twitter friends, our Instagram friends. You should check out York Radio, right? And then you should make sure that if you have not done at least one virtual recreation class from athletics, that you do one. They're fantastic. So please do that. All right, fantastic. Oh, there's the Facebook page. And I will make sure that I have somebody check into the printing kiosk, and I will make sure that there are all the links in here, and there will be a recording of this event. In closing, I want to, in our last few minutes, I want to remind everyone again that they check out our strategic priorities and that they know what we're focused on this academic year, and that we are very much at a nexus of a fantastic opportunity at York, and that we need to all work together. And when you all have heard me say that I would want us to be consistent in our messaging, that I want us to over communicate, I want us to work toward a healthy culture where we trust each other, we rely on each other, and we're clear and direct in the most diplomatic and appropriate and professional manner, and that we are one York in a mission to do the work that we need to do. We have to operationalize that plan, and it will be one of our greatest accomplishments to have had and made a strategic plan and to have actually been able to do some of the work that we say we're going to do. It is integrity-based work, and it's really important. So please, please, please participate in the conversation about how we're going to operationalize the plan. Make sure that you are utilizing assessment where you are, and that you are doing what you can to make sure that we do that work. Are there any other questions? I hope this has been useful for you, and that you will give us feedback around whether it was or not, and that you feel it like as if it was time well spent. What we decided to do this year is that convocation and the state of the college were two different things. I hope that the data that I shared regarding enrollment, the budget, the direction of the college, the priorities, our mission and vision are important, and that you understand them and they're clear. I will follow up with a campus message as a thank you to the start of the fall semester. And I will make sure that I adjust whatever I need to around sharing the information for the rest of the town halls and for the rest of the time that I see you in the fall. So if there are not other questions, I will ask you to have a very, very good day. And I encourage you to continue to connect and stay committed to us being one York, and take very, very good care of yourselves. Stay safe, stay healthy, and let's go ahead and have a fantastic academic year. Thank you for everything, everybody. Thank you.